And we're back. Well, we were just talking about like our favorite SPS. I'm kind of gonna go genre from genre, kind of get kind of a good feel of our taste in games.
Well, a little bit before we were talking about exclusives and how much they're not a very strong marketing strategy.
Yeah. I just say that's all I had.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, you don't want to talk about what game was exclusive, like The Last of Us?
Yeah, that one was a fucking painful one. Because I really wanted to play that game.
I wanted to play it too because I heard so much good stuff about it, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get it on PC. Checked on Steam.
No, not there.
That's like such a huge middle finger.
And which I thought it was. I thought it was on PC.
No. It's only on It's only going to be on PlayStation.
If it's done by Naughty Dog, it's only PlayStation.
Yeah. Which, Naughty Dog, I mean, just game wise, I don't know how many of their games you guys gotten to play, but they have a pretty solid track record.
Yeah.
They got besides like the Jack and Dexter later on, it was good 1 and 2.
3 was pretty good. I like 3.
Okay. I didn't get to play 3.
3, wasn't perfect, but it did give you a lot of fun stuff to do. The whole playing with Dark Jack, Light Jack, the whole barren wasteland and all that. Which, okay, I know it is a rip-off of the Road Warrior, but any post-apocalyptic setting is a rip-off of the Road Warrior. Anything that's like in the desert with like marauders and shit.
I always think it's weird, like if it's post-apocalyptic, it has to be in a desert.
Yeah, it has to be.
Always a desert.
That's the rule. Nah, the idea. Well, it's probably the most realistic idea if you think about it. Temperatures get hot.
Yeah, it does get hot. I mean, Fallout, not New Vegas. New Vegas again in the desert.
Fallout 3, not really in the desert, but it's all kind of barren.
Yeah, it's barren. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's got to be that style.
Well, we're just gonna go from genre to genre here, and we were since we mentioned Jack and Dexter, we might as well go. We might as well go into like platformers. Like, I know the definition of platformer can kind of jump around.
Well, I mean, if platformer.
I mean, no pun intended.
Yeah, platformer is it's a little bit of like a puzzle, but unlike the puzzle, like if you could look at it, you can solve it just like that. Then it's a platformer.
Well,
if it's just when you're jumping continuously to try to get on that platform properly.
You know what? Let's do it in 2 categories. 2D platformers.
Okay.
To me, the king of the 2D platformer, and I could just easily go, the originator, Super Mario Brothers, but I would think. I can't help it. I fucking love Donkey Kong Country too much. That's probably my favorite platformer.
I only got to play a little bit, and it was pretty fun. But platformers, I want to count Braid's more of a puzzle than a platformer.
Yeah.
Because I never had problems like jumping on the stuff. It was just solving it. So I had to say Limbo.
Is that really? Or
Yeah.
is that more of a puzzle game? I've always considered it a puzzle game.
I was able to, like, I looked at it and was like, oh, I knew it like that. I just had to jump continuously to get it right.
I didn't play Limbo. I've seen it. I'm aware of what it is.
It's got a beautiful art style.
Yeah. Although I'm not quite sure what's going on. I guess the kid died and now he's in purgatory.
It's one of those things like think of whatever.
They don't give you a clear cut answer, which that's something I kind of like. That and kind of old school feel to it.
Yeah.
Back then you didn't give a shit about the story. It was all about the gameplay.
Yeah, and it has good gameplay.
It's beautiful to look at it, even though it has a very minimalistic.
It's like a morbid, but very appealing morbidity.
Yeah, just a very bland color scheme, but it makes it work.
So what about you, Rob?
I never really liked 2Ds.
Oh.
Oh wow. Well, fuck you. Nah. How about 3D platformers? For me, it's Jack and Daxter. Or Jak 2. I don't know. I'm tired on those 2.
3D platformers.
Covered a lot of ground.
Does Legend of Zelda count, or is it more
Not really.
puzzle?
I say it's more puzzle and combat, but there's a little bit of platforming. But
Yeah,
platforming is always kind of
like side stuff.
Mario 64, Donkey Kong 64,
Donkey Kong.
Crash Bandicoot,
Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie. That's
Yeah,
another good
that was
one.
enjoyable. That was really enjoyable.
I don't know. Does Prince of Persia count?
Yeah, I consider
think-
it.
Prince of
Like-
Persia or Assassin's Creed? Assassin's Creed is kind of a combination of things.
Yeah, it's like.
But
combat.
it does. But platforming is the main focal point of it.
Yeah.
And again, that's where the definition of platforming starts to get muddy. But and Prince of Persia is a pretty good example of it. I'm not a big Prince of Persia fan. I did play not the first one, but the
Yeah.
first modern one, I guess, because I think it goes all the way back to like Super Nintendo, the original.
Yes, I believe because it was a 2D.
Yeah, it was kind of like Sands of Time style.
Yeah.
And that's about it on platformers, I guess. There's a lot of solid ones.
They're pretty much are. Well, Rob never got to choose
I'd probably say Darksiders.
Darksiders. I thought it was hack and slash.
No, it was pretty platformy.
Oh, I'd have to go with Conquer.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Okay.
There you go. That's it for
Singing
me.
turd.
Can't beat that. How do you beat the fucking singing turd?
Yeah, got a good point. But can't really beat that.
And the great mighty Pooh.
Oh, God.
And I'm gonna throw my shit at you.
Oh my god.
I can't remember. I used to know that song, the Donkey Kong 64 song. God, I remember dancing to that song
Oh
too.
god, it's like here we go. It's just I can't. That's all I remember. I can remember the melody, the donkey rap or monkey rap, whatever they called it.
DK Crew, yeah. I can't.
Oh god, that was so stupid, but it was awesome at the
Yeah,
same
it
time.
was stupidly awesome.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of funny how we learn as children. Most children learn like classical music. Some kids learn like stuff that actually would help them out. No, we memorize.
We rotted our brains.
We memorize songs about singing turds and yeah.
Rap about monkeys.
Oh well. Okay.
Okay, moving on.
Well, what do you think would be the next category? I mean, or genre, I should say.
Since puzzles is pretty close to it, I just have to say puzzles.
Puzzle games.
But I mean, I'm pretty sure for most people, they're gonna jump right on the bat to Portal.
I had a few others, but yeah, Portal. Portal's right up there. I was gonna go for the. See now, you said like puzzle game. I instantly thought. I went literal. I instantly thought Tetris.
Yeah, it is a puzzle game. But I never got into Tetris. It wasn't.
It's required taste. I
Yeah.
can't play it more than like 5 minutes,
Yeah.
to be honest.
But puzzles that I really enjoyed and I went back onto is probably Braid.
Never played it. Never even heard of it.
It's really good. I think it's one of the strongest indie games. It was
No.
definitely one of my
Wait,
favorites.
which one is this? Is this the one about World War II?
No, that's Honest Heart.
Okay.
No, wait, no, that's World War One. That's Honest Heart. No, Braid is the. It came back. It was the big three. It was the one that came out with Fez.
Okay, wait. Is there like?
It
Is
had
there
the
like
movie.
a girl with a crown?
No,
Okay.
no,
I think
it's this red-headed guy in a little tuxedo. It was with the movie Indeed the game.
I have not watched it yet.
Okay, yeah. Well, he was part of not really a part of, but he was the three big games that got the movie into it. It was Braid, and I really loved the guy. He was really cool. Fez, I also talk about something I can't play because of the creator. Like, I mean, I know it's really biased, but
It's a great game, but the guy who created it's kind of a piece of shit.
yeah, I want to buy it, but I don't want to support him.
Yeah, it just you can't just go and tell the fans fuck off.
Yeah,
It's just I don't know. I don't know the full story, so he's. I don't know the full story. I would have. Actually, I don't remember the full story. I would have to look into it again.
Well, I mean, he was being harassed a lot during the time.
Yeah,
Right.
I can.
But
I
I mean, the
remember
way-
that he did. He did get a lot of shit
Yeah,
from me.
but the way he handled it is pretty shitty.
Yeah, it's like basically, it's like, oh, you're gonna talk shit to me? Well, oh, boom, there goes Fez too. You don't get it anymore.
Yeah. And then there was Super Meat Boy, and I never really got into it just because I was like, it's mediocre.
I liked it. It was, kind of a funny game. When you think puzzle games, I know the whole game's not puzzle, but Legend of Zelda is probably the classic example.
Well, I mean, like, especially for like little kids. It was really good for kids.
You know what? This is not a puzzle game at all, but just thinking of Legend of Zelda made me think of about this game, Binding of Isaac. Such a fucked up game, but it's a lot of fun.
It's just a dungeon crawler, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all it is, but it's addicting.
Yeah. I never got into dungeon crawlers, so I was just like,
It's the same thing over and over again. I take it you're not a big fan of like the original Legend of Zelda. Well, actually, there was more than that. There was more to it than that.
Yeah, like I played all the Game Boy Advance ones and stuff, but again, it's just like a dungeon crawler.
I love the original Legend of Zelda, but Ocarina of Time is probably my favorite. Keep in mind, I didn't play a whole lot of Legend of Zelda. What about you, Rob? Puzzle games.
Probably just Portal.
Just what?
Portal.
Portal?
Yeah.
Okay. One game I just wanted to mention, just because it was probably the most recent one I played, or the most recent like puzzle game I played, and this is like, to the extreme of a puzzle game. That was Catherine. Shit story, shit characters, but the actual puzzle game was
I
fun.
thought people were saying it had a good story and decent characters.
No.
No, that was just overhyped.
In my opinion, I
You
didn't
watched-
play the whole game. I did not play the whole game.
I watched
It
the
was
night.
decent.
Yeah, I saw my cousin play it, and it looked pretty fun as a puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the puzzle aspect is great.
Yeah.
It's just when you're, playing as this. I don't know. I don't want to call him a pussy, but he's just this. I don't know. It just it kind of wants you to. It tries to have you make choices, but it's like one or two things. Either you're a douchebag or you're a complete pansy,
Okay.
and it's just no in between. And just that aspect outside the puzzle games, I just don't care about. The story is just. It's just a guy, trying to pick between women. Like he's having an affair with this one girl, and it's just him trying to figure out who does he pick. It's just
Okay, that does
I
sound
don't
pretty.
give a shit.
That does sound pretty bad. So it's got a good puzzle aspect. And before we switch off to the puzzle stuff, I wanted to say, does Honest Hearts count?
Honest Heart.
It's that World War One.
Yeah. I say it does.
'Cause
Just because there
more
is puzzle solving.
Yeah.
And that seems to be a main aspect of the game.
Yeah.
I've not played the game myself, but I've seen playthroughs of it. I love that game just from what I saw.
No,
I mean,
I
it's a
played it
beautiful
and I
game.
love it. I love the art style, and it was weird feeling kind of sad for something cartoony.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It goes to that whole thing that just because it has like an interesting art style doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah.
Like if it has like a weird art style doesn't mean it's bad. I mean, there's sometimes where a weird art style just prevents
People from getting into it.
Yeah,
Like the
like
anime.
me and Teen Titans. I can't watch that. The art style just throws me away from the show. I just don't want to watch it. Final Fantasy IX, I'm the same way. I just cannot get into the furry look. The half human animal
yeah.
things, the big heads and the little bodies and all that. And granted, they're going with Final Fantasy VII look, which I still think looks hideous.
Oh, yeah.
The Popeye arms, the giant heads, and
Polygons.
I mean the thing though is, And that's probably just because I'm not a Final Fantasy VII fan. I think 3 was the best, and 7 was just kind of went in a direction I didn't care for.
Okay.
It was beautiful. The the cinematics, not the actual gameplay.
That action.
The cinematics.
Polygons.
Which I'm just like, I saw that for the first time, and I'm like, holy shit, it looks real.
Yeah. All right, moving on from puzzles.
I guess.
Let's see.
We're just gonna go
maybe-
randomly with these. So
Yeah, let's go into a little less thinking. Let's go into fighting games.
fighting games, okay. I don't know. It seems like the guy who was the most into fighting games was Rob. So I guess you'll start this one then.
It's like, what about fighting games?
So, like, what's your favorite fighting game?
My favorite? I would say... There's a lot of, like, ones that are contenders, and I wouldn't say one's, like, the overall best. Because it's either Mortal Kombat, I believe, Deadly Alliance, even though most people didn't like that one. What's it called? Tekken 3, or probably Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Yeah, the Turbo Edition.
Yeah.
The thing with like Mortal Kombat games is, honestly, I don't care for Deadly Alliance or Deception. Especially Deception, since you have base. I'll give Deception credit because of the whole conquest mode.
Conquest mode was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I went back and looked at it, and graphically, it's horrendous.
Yeah.
It is pitiful. But honestly, I can't be that surprised. It was a secondary thing. The main focus of it was the fighting. Everything else was secondary. And I also gotta give them credit for Mortal Kombat Chess, which was actually kind of fun.
Yeah, that was weird.
My favorite Mortal Kombat game, besides 9, I can't help it, I fucking love 9.
9 was good too.
But
agree
I
with
like
that.
Armageddon. Besides
Armageddon was really good.
Besides the aspect of being able to play as all the characters, no unlocking or
Yeah,
anything.
just all of them right there.
Yeah, I like the Conquest mode a lot better, even though it was more hack and slash. But to be honest, it was a lot less running around trying to figure out what the fuck do I do. To quote James Rolfe, it's one of those what the fuck do I do games, where the first Conquest mode, the second Conquest mode is a lot better, a lot more action.
Yeah.
The other one is just like, I remember spending months stuck in Outworld trying to figure out who the fuck do I talk to.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, that was during the time when games didn't give you icons or tell you where to go. They're just like, do this.
Yep. And
I don't know where you go or anything,
They
but
didn't even
just
give
do
you
this.
names. You just had to find the person.
And
And
granted,
they'd be like in a bad like camera zone, so it was freaking hard to see them sometimes. It's like
okay, I never had camera problems,
I
but
did.
anyway, the second Conquest mode was a lot better. This had Mortal Kombat Racing, which I thought was fun as hell.
Mortal Kombat.
They always had like these weird side games in the later ones.
It was just a lot of fun. You also had like Mortal Kombat Tetris.
Yeah, I remember that.
I guess it was their version of, the old games had Test Your Might. They didn't have this in the newer games. 9 has it. 9
Yeah, I had
9
Test
brought
Your
a
Might.
lot of those old stuff back.
Most of it.
Yeah, most of the old stuff back. But yeah, Armageddon I think was a lot more fun game. The customization mode, which was a new thing with Mortal Kombat, I
Yeah.
think. I don't know if they've done it before.
Deadly Alliance, I believe, had it first.
Okay, Deception did not, but Armageddon had it again. Although looking back, it's very limited, but it was kind of cool that you could just, like, you can basically make like classic characters and all that, like old school Sub-Zero and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You had to unlock all the moves, though. I think you had to buy them, but you had to play Conquest mode to get the money to
Yes.
buy
Yes.
that, or go for the tournament mode.
Yeah, I did. usually, win to get any money. Yeah, I believe you lost money when you lost too.
Unlike a lot of games, though, at least you were able to play as the final boss. Because
Yeah.
you
That was
wasn't able
fun.
to play as Unaga in
Alright.
Deception.
No.
Could you play? Who was the end boss for Deadly Alliance? I didn't play
It was
that.
a, like
one, so.
purple. Like,
Oh, was
demon
it the- Was it the Oni?
Yeah.
It was either him or
Or
the other
here's,
one.
here's the blue, not purple, blue like demon guy.
Yeah, I can't remember their names. Murloc, I think, was one of
Yeah.
them. No, that might have been the one you're talking about. Murloc.
Yeah, probably. I just don't remember any of their names because they were just bosses. And I was like, eh.
The cool thing about the conquest modes, by the way, is it does kind of allow you to explore the Mortal Kombat mythos. a little
Yeah.
bit. Which I actually looked up. There's a series of videos where they go through the entire mythology of Mortal Kombat, the whole history of Outworld and all that. It's the entire history of Mortal Kombat, which it was really interesting. It's all text though.
Huh.
But it was really interesting. Speaking of which, Mortal Kombat, it has like the distinct. It has like that rare case where its movie actually isn't a piece of shit.
I'll say their shit.
Do what?
I'll say their shit.
But
You'll
are
say
they a
shit.
giant piece of shit?
But not like
Street Fighter giant piece of shit?
not that level.
No.
Not that level. At least it's competent. It actually
they're still
feels like the
shit,
game.
though.
It actually reminds you of the game.
The first one was eh.
That's
and
what
then
I'm
the
talking about.
second one was absolute dog shit.
Yes, I'll agree with that. The second one was dog shit. And I was like, why the fuck would you put Melina in it if you're not even going to use her correctly?
Yeah.
But then again, it was Mortal Kombat. Nobody cared.
Had the name, so people went and fucking saw it.
One of the things, though, that movie did do well, the fucking theme song.
Yeah.
It's synonymous with the game now.
Oh yeah.
To the point where I'm surprised they don't just have it in the opening cinematic. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
Yeah, but then the new soundtrack for Mortal Kombat 9, that did not fit at all. Like dubstep.
Ugh.
Dubstep. Are you
I don't
shitting
remember
me?
that, but
By Squealix.
I know.
oh god.
Yep, he did it.
He did one song. It was just like, kill me now.
Oh god. Well, we'll get back to genres. I just want to ask this: what game do you think has the best original soundtrack?
That's too general and way too hard for me to pick. I can't.
We managed to do it yesterday.
No, I still can't. I can't
You
pick.
still can't.
Yeah, I was the odd man out, but yeah, I can't pick.
But we'll throw some out like Skyrim, of course. Metal Gear Solid.
I really didn't like Skyrim's music.
I kind of actually should tune it out.
Yeah, I was just like, what?
I loved it. I
what's
thought it was
this?
awesome, but okay. This doesn't really count as original because the band did it, but still, I freaking love the music from Red Dead Redemption.
But that's Rockstar in general. They always have like
kick-ass soundtracks.
Well, they have copyrighted music most of the time.
Yeah, but the thing though is, I don't think most people never heard the song before in the game, so the game is synonymous with the game. So, but
Still,
yeah, I'm kind of cheating on that one.
yeah. You said OST, which stands for Original Soundtrack.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know, it's hard because there's a lot of them that I really love.
Well-
Some songs I hate.
license. Then let's go into license soundtracks because the king of that, I don't give a shit what you say. Is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Pro Skater. I liked Underground.
Underground had a damn good
Yeah.
soundtrack though, and I liked that it wasn't mainstream stuff. It was
Mhm.
very. I
Very
don't want to say
good.
underground, but
They went with the title, Underground.
yeah. I mean, they weren't all, but it was kind of cool that it wasn't what you would think it would be. I mean, shit. I still listen to "I Want to Pierce My Brain." Like, what the fuck is that?
For original soundtracks, it's either Final Fantasy X or Devil May Cry series. I believe Devil May Cry 3.
Another game I've never played.
Devil May Cry 3 or Devil May Cry 4. Both had really, really good soundtracks. If you like sort of like metal to go with like a heavy action game,
Yeah.
it's a good one you want to listen to.
And of course, this is not original. This is licensed stuff. But one of the things that just really fit with the game was Twisted Metal soundtrack.
Yes, that
'Cause-
fit as well. That's the same kind of soundtrack that Devil May Cry has.
I mean, it's
It's like
fucking
a really
Rob.
heavy metal, like
It's fucking Rob Zombie, Marilyn Manson, just
it's like heavy rock or like metal theme into like a quick, fast action game, which is like fun.
yeah.
It makes the game fun, and it has a good soundtrack.
I mean, to be honest,
That or Killing Floor.
Yeah, King Floor. That's a pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not really a category, really a genre. Okay, this isn't a genre, but how about most violent or goriest game you can think of that you've played?
Mortal Kombat, because they got banned in Australia. No, I'm joking.
Besides Mortal Kombat, we've already talked about Mortal Kombat.
Gears of War is pretty bloody.
Oh
but
yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
there's this one that got, I believe, banned in like a couple
that's what I'm trying
countries.
to think.
It was like you go around as this guy and you're able to like piss on people. You
Are you
get,
talking about that fucking
Oh.
banned game?
Yeah.
That was during the protest?
yeah.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
Where it has that. What's his name? It has a little kid star.
I don't know, but the game I always thought of when I thought of like gory games was Splatterhouse, but I don't think a lot of people played Splatterhouse.
Probably not.
You guys ever heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of it. But
Okay.
I never really like looked into anything on it. I was like, I've heard of it.
It was a beat 'em up. That's basically all it was.
I think like the most two goriest games I probably played was either Gears of War or probably Conquer was the only two.
Conquer was gory.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they would get like chopped up and like blown to pieces.
All right.
It was just funny though.
I would think. I don't know if Dead Space. Is
It's like
pretty
the
gory.
blood would like be like water on your screen. It's like, is that supposed to be blood? Because that looks like freaking painted water.
It looks like Kool-Aid.
It looks cool though.
I don't know.
I got some Kool-Aid on my screen. Making me thirsty.
Hey, it's better than Jam from Call of Duty.
Oh god. Here's
I'm
your
shocked.
jam.
Put Jam on my face.
Trying to think of some other ones. Dead Space is a gory game.
It's pretty gory.
Relatively, yeah.
Then there's like Thrill Kill. That's more violent than gory.
Yeah.
Which is what that was like the first game that they were going to give the AO rating to.
Adult only.
Just because you could play as like
It was adult. I remember it was mature and there was adult. I remember reading in the game info books. Like a long time ago, like during the N64, there was both. I thought there was a few games that hit that A rating.
yeah. It's just because nobody wants to go that route because it doesn't do well for sales.
Nope.
Unless you intentionally want to go that route. Which there's one game I'm thinking of where you could like murder people in like horrendous ways. Can't remember what it was. Never played it. I'm just unaware of it.
People believe, a bunch of people thought God of War was real gory. I didn't think so.
Eh,
I thought it was
it
just
was
like
too stylized.
stupid. Yeah.
and I love God of War, but it just it was too stylized.
Yeah,
to
it wasn't
say
really
it's
gory. Yeah.
And there's countless horror games that are really gory, but they're going into the
That's
the
horror
realm
in
of
general.
that's in the realm of trying to shock you and
Yeah.
gross you out.
And it doesn't really work. Just because you've seen it before in other stuff.
It's like a
And I think it would be pretty funny to see actually a Nintendo game actually have blood.
The few games that like surprised me was the Punisher game. The Punisher game was I did not expect it to be as gory as it was. No, a lot of times it's implied gore, but I just did not expect that. And I'm know next to nothing about the Punisher. I just know he shoots things. I never read his comics, never saw the movie.
movies were just like, oh, my family was killed, I'm gonna get revenge. But it's not really revenge, it's punishment. Ha ha
And
ha.
I saw like a fan made film that was actually really damn good. I mean, I don't know anything about Punisher, but it was still really damn good. Although it was made by the guy who played the Punisher, and so I can't really call it a fan movie, but it was.
If it has a
independently-
budget over, let's say.
It was independently funded.
Oh,
so.
okay.
And that was the only way he was going to get away with that because of copyright infringement.
Uh,
He had the copyrights to the character,
Okay.
or at least the likeness. And there's a lot of like really good independent games, but anyway, and that's about it on gory games. I can't really think. I play a lot of gory games. I just can't remember a lot of them. I don't
I
know.
really don't care for them, honestly.
Okay, well, I can't really think of any.
The
other
one that
genre
only
right
really
now.
needs it is Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat's the king of it, so he can't really top them.
It's the only one that honestly needs it.
Now, real quick, horror games. Like favorite horror games.
Well, there's not really a whole lot. I mean,
I was never really scared by any of them.
Well,
My favorite was just like Dead Space because I like the atmosphere.
yeah, my favorite's probably Silent Hill 2. Again, atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll be the odd man out. I did say it was Amnesia, but I did a replay for Outlast. Actually, I enjoyed Outlast more and more because it wasn't really like in a medieval castle.
Yeah.
More of an insane asylum. I like more modern day stuff. So that had me more interested in the insane asylum.
One of the overrated horror games because I've been howling that about Slender Man for months
Yeah,
now.
we all know. We all know what
said-
overrated shit is. We shouldn't even mention
I
it.
just meant in horror games. I
Yeah,
didn't
just don't
mean in
mention
games,
it.
Period.
Just don't mention them.
Yeah.
They're already overrated. You don't need to overrate them any more.
All right.
Yeah. No more doo doo.
No more acknowledging. Okay. I kind of ran out of genres. Unless you guys got one, unless you guys got another genre, I'm probably just gonna move on.
Well, there's action, adventure. You still got story.
Action,
Put action
RPG.
adventure together.
action adventure.
Well,
Okay.
does RPG count in that?
Some.
RPG
That's
would
what
be its
most-
own thing.
Yeah.
Like,
So
let's
the-
do RPG, or just real quick.
Okay, RPG.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
Anybody?
I'll go first. It's actually kind of hard. Let's see. I'm still in a category. JRPG. I'm gonna be that annoying kid that says Final Fantasy VII, even though everyone's like, no, it's all about Chrono Trigger and it's about this and this and this.
Final Fantasy 3.
I enjoyed 7, not because it's just the only one I played. I mean, I never got to play Chrono Trigger and stuff like that, but I'm not a huge fan of the take-turn stuff.
Yeah.
And
That's what kept me away from Final Fantasy for years.
yeah, the whole
Yeah.
take-turn. I really wish they did it more in the Paper Mario style.
Yeah.
And that one I really I love that actually take-turn mechanic. Like the way they did it, especially Super Mario what was it called? Fuck. That one was actually really good. They did it with Square Enix too. I think it was just Super Mario RPG.
Never played that one.
It-
I didn't have a
it's-
Super Nintendo. So.
It was really good. Like that was the first basically where Paper Mario got its mechanics from. Was that?
I don't know. When I think of RPGs, there's a lot of things I think of. Does Pokemon count? Because I played Pokemon Yellow when I was a kid.
If it's grindy, it's an RPG.
Okay, fine. I never played
They
Chrono
want you
Trigger.
to sit there and grind a character for fucking 40 hours, more than that. It's an RPG.
Well, you didn't have to grind for Fallout. It was just more of a side thing.
And that's a great
Yeah.
one. Skyrim's another good RPG.
Yeah, I enjoyed. Base Data is also a company that hasn't been. Well, they had a disappointment. The MMO one.
When we were talking about this yesterday, I forgot about one. Far Cry is actually a pretty good one. A lot of people just see Far Cry as like, oh, it's a first-person shooter. No, it's actually a real RPG.
That was more like an action adventure.
Well, it is, but
Far Cry 3
there is a lot.
probably the best. I'd
There's
say
a
so
lot
far.
of RPG elements. It depends on how you play. You
So
know,
it sounds like an action RPG.
yeah. If you want to just play like first person shooter, and go ahead. But like for me, I would use like the drugs and the and try to get the the tattoos and all that. I really like how it did the the upgrade tree or whatever you want to call it,
Talent trees.
the skill tree or whatever. I think it was pretty in depth. It's not one of the most in depth trees I've messed with in a game, because I've not played Mass Effect and I've heard it has a really extensive one.
It's trees now. It don't have very extensive trees. It's very simple.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I always heard it was in depth.
No,
My people
those
tell me.
people are just.
It's rather really simple.
Those
but,
people are probably just new to RPGs.
Oh, okay.
And I guess like Mass Effect also counts. Yeah, it definitely
Yeah.
counts as RPG. And that's probably my favorite.
My
Well, no, I don't know. It's actually pretty hard between Fallout, New Vegas. I have to go Fallout, New Vegas. For
I would go Knights of the Old Republic.
I heard it was really good.
There was parts of 2 that I liked, but overall I think 1 was a superior game.
Was 2 the one that was made by BioWare? BioWare joined in? Because I know they helped out.
I mean the MMO or the. Oh no
No, you're
yeah,
you're thinking of the Old Republic. I'm talking about Knights of the Old Republic.
Okay, almost similar. Now.
I know. I hate
It's
that.
old.
I just hate that they just dropped Knights and just call it something else. What I call it, the Old Republic. It's too familiar to the other game.
Yeah.
But no, the Old Republic's the MMO. Knights of the Old Republic was straight up RPG.
Okay.
It's just that whole concept of light side, good side, and all that. Now it did boil down to a point system. It wasn't really a point system, but I can see where people would be kind of doing it that way. That's how people do it in Star Wars role playing games.
So were you able to go like pure evil? Like
You could go
Really?
pure evil, yeah.
Like, not a lot of games do that. They're always like, oh, you can go kind of evil.
Yeah, slightly aggressive.
Yeah.
No, you can be flat out a vicious, sadistic bastard.
That's cool. Like you don't get that often.
But keep in mind, a lot of it is just out of your choices. It's not really out of well, you can. I mean, there's a mission where you just go and obliterate an entire race.
Okay.
There is that suggested mission. I prefer to always play light side. I always prefer to be the hero and all that. But just to indulge myself, I did go dark side, which it was kind of satisfying. It's one of the characters you start off with is this is what you get for being a dick the whole game. Too bad you don't actually kill him yourself, which that would have been awesome if I could. I hated that guy. I don't know what his name was. He was one of the first guys you got in your party. But yeah, every planet felt unique. You actually felt like you were on a different planet. Now, actual gameplay wise,
Yeah.
it's limited. It was very limited, but just from the RPG elements, from the storytelling and all that, the choices you make. Now, it is the illusion of choice, but all games
It's
are that.
between Coke and Pepsi.
Yeah.
What would you prefer?
Pepsi.
Pepsi.
You said Pepsi.
Whatever. Well, does Walking Dead count in this? Or is that
No.
story?
That's straight up story.
Oh,
That's a point and click.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're
I
just
was-
a
I was-
choice. It's a
I wanna
choice
double check
maker.
on that.
That's all it is.
Yeah. Its genre is point and click.
Yeah,
But yeah.
of course.
Knights of the Old Republic is probably my favorite.
Oh, what about you, Rob?
I'd go with the original Fable.
Original
Alright.
Fable.
Yeah.
I played Fable 2, and I thought that was
Fable 2 sucked.
yeah.
Fable 2 sucked.
It was a fucking disaster.
Hey, look, I'm
They
the final
rushed-
boss.
they
Who's
rushed
your
it
Final
out.
3 was an abortion.
Yep. That's why I just played
Did
original.
I say Final 3? I mean
No.
Fable 3.
That's why I just played the original and only that one. Because it was the only one I had fun with. The others I looked at and was like, this is not the same. I don't remember. Trash.
The Elder Scrolls, I would think of as being a top RPG, but although they were kind of hit and miss with the games. The last
Morrowind-
Elder Scrolls game
Morrowind was good. I enjoyed Morrowind. Oblivion needed mods for it to be fun.
yeah, Oblivion was kind of dry.
Oh yeah, it was.
Skyrim, I think, for me personally, is probably one of the best.
I thought it was
Yes.
overrated as shit.
I had to mod it for it too. I felt like it was just.
Awesome.
It,
I beat that game in less than 12 hours. I believe 8 hours.
Really?
Yep, it
took
was
me a
so
long
fucking
ass,
easy.
It took me a long ass time.
And I
beat
had it
that
on the
game.
hardest difficulty. 8 hours.
I was on normal and I got my ass kicked almost constantly.
Yeah, 'cause those bosses were just.
They're so easy.
Well, you
They
found-
just-
you had to
they
find a
just
gimp
follow
spot.
their AIs.
Yeah, you had
Their
to find a
AIs were
gimp
so
spot.
shit. You were
Maybe I
like,
just suck at games. Maybe that's it.
In order to really beat the bosses like really badly, you just found like a gimp spot where they just stand and look at you, just go, where?
Oh.
And you
let's
just
see.
read
yeah,
on
their
barrels.
AIs were so shit.
I guess
Like,
it's just.
Especially the Mage's one, because then they'd cast a spell and most of the time it just hit like a pillar.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, if you stand in front, you're just like,
I
die.
I still stick by when I
It's
say.
just like, oh,
but-
I'm just sitting here hitting you for like a good 10 minutes, and then you're finally dead.
I still stick to what I say, but again, it could have been from me being, a shitty player or.
Sounds good. It's good.
A lot of games, though, I try to muster out as much as I can out of it.
And most of the quests in it were just like, go talk to this guy.
Oh, that's a lot of games. But one of my things I did
But
like.
that was like 90% of the quest.
well,
Or
I-
go into this dungeon and beat this boss.
Well,
Oh my god.
Well, they
so
wanted
hard.
they wanted it to be more of a time consumption than story, because it is very time consuming.
one of the things that I liked about the game was how you could just, you could just explore, find like some place, read a book, and discover like find out about a tomb or something, and you go,
It took me 2
Nope,
days
it-
to finish all the dragons and then finish all the dungeons.
Jesus,
It was easy.
it took me months.
I explored. I didn't.
I
Just, like,
did.
Oh,
That's what
I did a hell of a lot of exploring.
Yeah, I always just enjoyed exploring and looking at all the stuff, and I loved a lot of some of their dungeons that were really beautifully made.
So, okay, we're at like 3 different levels. One's just not impressed, another one's kind of in between, and I'm the one that full on loved it.
I mean, modded, it's really enjoyable.
I never modded it because I
which
didn't
one
like
had-
the game.
I can't remember which one this had, but it had like this had to be Skyrim because of the dragons, which I freaking love the dragon fights.
Yeah.
Although it does kind of make me wonder why the hell would the dragon get down on the ground?
Yeah, I was just
But-
like, why did it just sit up there and click me like, meh.
It's the same. Yeah, well, I ask the same question every time I play D&D. So, why would the dragon get down on the ground so you can fight it? Even though it makes no logical sense.
Well, it doesn't make much logical sense why it just doesn't burn you in one burn.
Yeah.
Just like,
I mean, this is.
wow, just.
I wanted to. Well, a
Because
lot
you're the
of them,
Dovahkiin, come on.
well, one of my things is just make it freaking Smog the dragon. I don't care.
Well, what they could have done is they just could have given you the first shout instead of the Fusrada. They could have been the one that makes them land on the ground. Then that would make sense.
Anyway, I love the whole dragon aspect of the game. But one of the things I remember there was a mod for is the Macho Man. Is the Macho Man dragon, where
Oh.
it's a mod where
Has
They-
it replaced the voice with him?
yeah,
I've
with
seen-
Macho Man, yeah.
Oh yeah!
Seen it.
Snap into it.
Fucking sound mods are the best mods.
Yeah. Anyway, oh god, Macho Man has a nasty habit of making everything awesome.
Let's see, what's our next genre?
What are we on time?
We're at 43.
43? Nah, screw it. Screw it. Let's continue.
Alright, so the next genre will be story?
I guess if you really want to count it as a genre, because at this
Well,
point,
man.
doesn't all games have story?
Well, I mean, there's certain games that really focus on it. You know, a good example is like The Walking Dead.
Okay.
You
Are
know,
you
it
talking
is
about?
strongly.
I'm just trying to figure out where the line is. Is it just where
Oh.
that story is the aspect of the game?
I think where it's like the strong focus.
Strong focus? Okay.
Oh, well, then that's just a Telltale game.
And all Telltale games are focused on that.
That's
but,
all they are.
But,
Yeah,
They're
there's,
point and
honest,
clicks
though-
until you hit the story.
there's Monkey Island.
oh, yeah.
Oh man, one game out of like how many they've made? So Telltale. Is this our genre? Telltale.
Hey, Telltale gave me its own genre and its own sense. They're really good ending.
Let's
Yeah,
just
but that's
stick
just-
with what you
that's
originally said. Just, I don't know.
The story and then the
Kind of
aspect.
jump. Well, let's kind of jump into just our favorite stories in games, like something like that. Probably
Yeah.
easier.
Um,
Because for me, it'd be Metal Gear Solid.
Let's see. I have to choose between probably three, but I think the one that stands the tallest is right off the bat, The Walking Dead season 1. Season 2 is only for fans. If you're a fan of Clementine,
Yeah.
you know, it's just you really like the character.
All the other characters are a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, it's the only you buy it for that one character. That's it.
Yeah.
Uh,
And see Kenny again.
Yeah. Then it'd have to be Mass. Actually, no. I have to say New Vegas is probably second. As gimpy as it was, but I mean, it had a fuck ton of content, so I can't blame it.
Last of Us, I think, is another great example of a great story.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten this. I want
It's a good
to
story.
play it, but it's an exclusive, and I don't want to watch Let's Plays of it because I don't want to ruin the experience.
Yeah, just wait. Like, I'm gonna get the game. I'm gonna get the game on PlayStation 4. So just learn and play it.
Yeah, I'll just wait for the remastered version and
Yeah.
give it a shot. You know, because it would probably be definitely up there. And then the other one, let's see, number 3 is probably Mass Effect, and for that, just how bad that third ending was. Too many questions, not enough answers.
All Mass Effect endings. Explosions and light colors. Neon light colors.
Pick your color.
Michael Bay made
Uh-huh.
these endings.
Not to that extreme, but
But they're
it
pretty
was
close.
just basically, you know, I was about to say pick which pill, but at least the Matrix was a little more interesting than the ending to Mass Effect.
Yeah,
Which
you
is
know,
fucking sad.
You know, especially for a
I actually
game
liked
that
it.
really went into, you know, answering the questions and having all these little texts that answered, you know, quite a bit. It was pretty depressing to
Well,
see
you
that.
gotta give them credit for at least trying to rectify it. I remember that just being like a whole shit storm
Oh.
that stirred up.
Well, I think the problem was is what they were promising. They promised too much and gave
Yeah,
up. They
and-
were like, it's gonna make a huge difference. You're gonna be like, oh my god, I didn't see that coming, and they
There's
flopped.
And this is funny because now we're starting to get games that are like, oh, you create your own story. There is no story. You create your story for the gameplay. Which, that's a cool idea, but I've never seen it done.
Me
Oh.
either.
I mean, they promised that with Destiny, and a lot of people have been telling me that, you
No.
know, whatever story it has, it's not interesting. It's just stupid. And
Boring.
they say, oh, you make your own stories. No, you don't.
It's an MMO.
You just
it's
go-
not really an MMO though. So.
Well, I mean, you know, it still suffers from the Coke and Pepsi thing.
Yeah.
You're still getting the same thing, just more dialogue.
So boring.
And you just keep going for the same places, fighting the same guys. You spawn at the same places at the same time.
That's what people said.
They're
like,
just
Guild
the
Wars.
same guys. They're just a little bit harder, so they give you better loot.
Which it does kind of make me worry about this one game. I'm
So it's like,
really
oh, it's
excited
Diablo
for.
effect. Yay. Because Diablo sucked.
Uh,
Diablo 3 was awful.
Anyway, it makes me worry for this one game. I can't remember the name of it, but basically you're able to explore like go from planet to planet and explore. Like each planet has like its own its own species of animals and plants and all that. It's all about exploration and all that. I'm really looking forward to that game, but every time they promise something big, original,
Don't
never
fall for it.
Yeah, you can't fall for it.
What's the company?
I don't remember. That's the problem.
You gotta watch what company
It's
it is.
you know what? It's a small studio.
Okay, if it's usually an unknown name, you can keep an eye out for it.
I'm keeping an eye on it, but it just
But don't expect
Because
too much.
little companies, you know, they have to keep their promises
But the-
because they're tiny.
they showed like a gameplay trailer of it, and it's just basically you start on this
Yeah.
this
There's
planet,
been
planet.
plenty of gameplay trailers that weren't ever in the game.
Yeah, that's why I'm worried about what is it called, Dishonored, or not Dishonored. It's this new game. It's God, I can't remember what it
Was
what
it on
is.
E3 or?
It was E3. It was. They showed like apparently there's like werewolves in it.
Oh god, that piece of shit.
What?
That's like in like Neo Paris or some shit like that.
I thought it looked amazing, and I was looking forward to it.
What is it? I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
It's like you're like Neo Paris or some shit, and then you're like hunters for. It's like you're in like the 1800s, and you're in
It's like
Paris.
so steampunkish.
Yeah, and you're fighting like werewolves with like steampunk guns and stuff. It's just like this looks atrocious.
I see. I thought the complete opposite. I was hyped for it.
I haven't seen anything, so
I'm still
I-
waiting for it.
It's got my attention.
Just watch the trailer. Make your own opinion. If you can find this game.
Yeah. Well, what am I gonna put in? Steampunk hunter werewolf.
Just look up like E3 2014 or something like that,
Okay.
and just go through the trailers. Eventually, you'll find it. Take you a little while, but you'll find it. You might find the game I was talking about. I don't know. I'm on the other spectrum. I'm looking forward to the game. I'm really interested in what's the story with this game and all that. And I'm not a graphics guy. I really
No
most
one
of the time
should
I can
be.
really
Like-
not care about
Like the
graphics. but
lowest I can take is probably like Halo 2. I can even take N64. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but like to be expected from now games is like Halo 2 graphics.
Yeah, my bottom thing, basically, as far as I would accept, lowest I would accept is probably.
I'm willing to accept old arcade fighting type of games if you're willing to try, and you make a good game out of it. Sure, do it.
Yeah,
Not-
you have to have a
not
good
be-
game behind it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which
you
there
have games
been
like
some promising ones.
what is it, Ride Through Hell or whatever, where it's just this ugly game with shitty gameplay, just like the worst kind of game you can imagine, and like I said, horrible graphics. The graphics it looks butt ugly. I mean, jeez, it shouldn't be. I shouldn't. This was a
And it's
Xbox
a horror
360 game. It's not a horror game. It's like kind of. I don't even know what kind of game it is. It's kind of like a beat 'em up, and there's
That's putrid.
driving on. There's riding motorcycles and stuff like that. You're in a biker gang.
I think Zero Punctuation reviewed it and said it was one of the worst games he's played.
Angry Joseph was one of the most painful things he's ever sat through, and that says a lot. He sat through Sonic Free Riders. It just,
So are we talking about graphics at the moment, or are we still talking about story?
I don't care about
we're
graphics.
just going all over the place. Yeah, I'm not.
If you're
crazy
picky
on
about
graphics.
graphics, you don't deserve to be playing games.
Well, here's the thing. I can understand people who want like top-notch graphics and are easily impressed by. Because I'm impressed by graphics.
Go watch a
but
cinematic
Well,
movie.
well,
Don't go be playing games. Fuck you.
It just, I can get graphics can get me hyped, but I'm like, give me gameplay. Like trailers. When it comes to like showing off trailers, they just show the engine and all that. I don't give a shit. Show me gameplay.
Yeah, they said they looked at scenery really slowly, just like, oh, look how
I mean,
beautiful this is.
Again, I don't mean to come back to the wrestling games, but they show gameplay in every trailer. Unless it's one of those special DLC trailers where they're like, pre-order the game, you get the Ultimate Warrior, or pre-order the game, you get Sting. Those are usually, by the way, those two promos are probably my favorite trailers for a game since, SmackDown 2 on the PlayStation. But
Well, I'm trying to think. Were E3 trailers back then mainly from the game? I'm trying to like a Halo 2 trailer, and like Nintendo Super.
I remember people lost their shit over this Halo 2 trailer.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember because I know Halo also.
Yeah,
They said it was just,
they
like,
showed an
straight up
alpha.
gameplay.
They showed alpha gameplay, which never was put into the game.
Yeah, because it was on the Halo disc for Halo
Yeah.
2.
Remember? Okay, is this concept dead? Demos on other games?
Apparently, it's
like
there,
Kind
but
of,
it's
like
not
Microsoft's
been
the
good.
only one because they promote like shit games and they're like, hey, you
See,
get Halo if you
there's
purchase
only
this.
there's only
Yeah.
certain good demos,
I'm talking about like you
and
played.
people just stop doing it because they're just like they don't even like play demos anymore.
Well-
So just ship out the game half
Well,
price
there-
or half
there's
full.
There's free demos you can find, but like there's so little.
I remember playing Tony Hawk's
I remember-
Proving Ground.
I remember playing Red Faction Guerrilla, which had the entire multiplayer in the demo.
Did you have to purchase anything?
No,
No,
it was free.
no, that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like you buy a game and it comes with a demo to another game.
No,
Yeah,
I hate that kind of marketing. That's bullshit.
Microsoft did that for Halo Reach. They were like, hey, buy ODST, get this, or for
No,
Halo
it wasn't
3.
ODST. It was by Crackdown.
Yeah, it was Crackdown for Halo 3, and then it was ODST for Reach.
I actually like Crackdown, but I remember like playing Tony Hawk's Proving Ground. This is the last one I can remember when they did this. I was playing Tony Hawk's Proving Ground, which don't play that game. It's not worth it. But there was a trailer for Guitar Hero 3. Well, not a trailer. There was a demo. I'm getting my words confused, but yeah, there was a demo for it, and there was only like 5 songs.
Like, there used to be trailers. I remember when Fable had the trailer for Conquer on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh, that's cool.
I'm trying to think. Like, I played Mech Assault 2, and it came with, God, it was like...
It came with other game trailers, or it came with demos?
It came with trailer.
Yeah.
It came with a trailer. Also, well, the special edition one I came with also came with an E3 special on Mech Assault. Or not E3, what's that game channel?
Spike.
Video games.
Spike? Is Spike?
No, it's not
No.
Spike.
G4.
G4, there we go.
Even though now
They're gone.
all they show is like reruns
Cops.
of Cops.
No, I think they're gone.
Oh, the channel?
Yeah, that channel
Oh.
I believe is gone.
It was originally Tech TV at one point.
Yeah,
though.
I believe they're just gone now.
That was a channel that I always wanted when I was younger. I always wanted that just because it showed video game stuff in anime. Like it showed anime. I was like, I gotta have this channel.
I remember they
Yeah,
showed
we got it.
Ninja Warrior and stuff. And now I don't think
That
there's
was
any
cool.
channel that has Ninja Warrior on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ninja Warrior.
They went through a course, and it was the Ultimate Banzuke.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And they were really interesting. But not as interesting as MXC.
I'd say it's more interesting because it was more actual competitiveness.
Whatever. Anyway, going back to video games.
I'm completely lost on that one. I don't know. I think it's sad that Spike is the channel for gamers,
Which is god awful.
I mean, name one good show on Spike. Ever.
Nothing.
I'm
They
I'm
held-
with him.
They held a video games award. That was once.
They do the video game awards
do
every
it,
year.
Yeah, every year. But
But
there's
it's all
only
I
one
hate watching the
won.
video game awards.
Yeah,
Just because
it's just bad. It's
all-
just celebrities.
celebrities
Yeah.
making fun of gamers, basically. Because
Oh.
there's one douchebag who just came out there and was like, "Hello, nerds, my favorite people." It's just like, fuck you. It's just, God, I hate the VGAs, especially on such a stupid channel like Spike. God, I freaking hate that channel. I mean, it's not even because they insult my intelligence with stupid wrestling. That doesn't make it. It does an entirely different thing. I need to start a wrestling show so I can bitch about Impact Wrestling. Anyway, I hate Spikes. Screw Spike. Anyway,
Alright, getting back onto like the graphics. What is your not your lowest expectations? We talked about what your highest.
I kind of
Okay,
lost
so-
it there for a second. Dan, your question was what?
What was your high? Like what kind of graphic style do you really love?
Good graphics. I don't know. What do you mean? Like just.
Like any art style, like
Oh, okay. Got a soft spot
See,
for
that's a whole
cell
different
shading.
category. You're saying graphics. You're not saying the style of the art.
Well,
in
technically
the game.
it is.
No.
The graphics are its style. You have
Really?
realistic graphics. You
Got a
have
soft
the
spot for
cartoony.
cell shading, to be honest. Jet Set Radio is one of my favorite games. Wind Waker, I think, looks beautiful. A lot of Japanese games, like
Mhm.
the Dragon Ball Z games went cell shaded. What was that one game you guys were talking about with the wolf?
Okami.
Okami.
Yeah,
Did you actually look that up?
yeah, I looked it up. It's amazing looking. There was a few other games I think of, but yeah, it's mostly the stuff. It's mostly the games that
Like-
go for an anime look.
Like I don't know. I have to say that too. Like that cartoon style with the Okami, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, and like Jet Set Radio, and even like to The Walking Dead.
What was that game about rolling things in a ball?
Shoot.
Super something in that.
God, it was something weird.
Katamari.
That was a weird game.
And that was also in the cell shading, and that was fun.
But it was weird.
It was just wacky. It came from Japan.
It's just like, holy shit, someone just... I think they were just on something for that game. God.
It was
It was
enjoyable.
fun, but jeez.
I remember just sitting there playing that demo
Oh
over
god, do
and
you
over.
remember Ape Escape?
No.
You know, no.
Yes, I do. I remember
Okay.
renting it.
I think it was on
PlayStation?
Dreamcast.
I think the original. I think it played 2 on PlayStation.
Yeah. Apparently it was made by the same studio that Metal Gear Solid, Konami, I believe.
Huh.
Because in Metal Gear Solid 3, there's we get the special edition version of Metal Gear Solid 3. There's missions where you have to collect the monkeys from Ape Escape. There's also, God, what was that one? It was kind of like a dancing game, but it was all paper style. It was another Dreamcast game.
Oh.
With,
I
like this
remember.
rapping dog.
Yeah, I
thing.
know what you're talking about. Because I remember watching an interview with the guy. Because that's what his brother did. The guy who did on the Courage the Cowardly Dog thing. He was talking about that.
Rapapapa, something like that.
Like, it was something like that. And that's where he got the idea for King Ramsey and stuff. But anyways, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Ramsey. Gosh. Okay. Yeah. I think Dreamcast was probably the most underrated console. Because people just mostly shit on it because it was Sega. But I think it was a really solid console. Since I'm thinking of consoles,
But that was back then. Not many gamers have played at Sega.
Okay, well, what do you think is your favorite console? I know you guys don't play consoles now, but
PC Master Race.
But when you guys were playing consoles, what do you think would be your favorite?
PlayStation 2.
That's. Ooh.
Or either GameCube.
Yeah, like PlayStation 2 had some really good games. Xbox only really had 2,
Yeah, we're all-
which was Halo 2 and Conquer. Those were like the only 2 games we always played. Well, Fable was also on there too.
Yeah.
I didn't play much of Fable. Oh god, that's hard because PlayStation 2 had a lot of my fucking favorite games.
Oh, God.
Had Ico, Shadow of the Colossus,
I got my
Okami,
PlayStation right there.
so much. God, that's difficult. And GameCube had really some of my favorites.
For me, it's a toss-up between the N64 and the PlayStation 2.
Like, yeah, and the N64 was also fun. God, it's difficult.
But I was going to go PlayStation 2, so me and Robert are on the same page on that one.
How do you?
I also think PlayStation 2 has my favorite controller.
Yeah,
Well, it's the
it
same
has
on
a pretty
PlayStation,
solid
but-
controller, but I like the GameCube controller too. But
Yeah,
I hated the GameCube controller.
I
With
loved
that
the big
stupid
game.
C
I liked
stick
it.
thing, and
Because I played a bunch of fighting games on it. It worked pretty well.
I had baby hands, so I
I
was just
played
like,
like Bloody
Yeah.
Roar.
I
played,
hated the Xbox controller. But
I liked the Xbox controller too. That was fun.
the Xbox controller,
'Cause there were so many weird things
Like-
in
like-
games you were able to do. Like in Halo 2, there's glitches like the double shooting and sword
Yeah,
canceling and stuff. It was like
The
there's
controller.
actually use for every button, not just
like
right
Don,
trigger, X.
I have baby hands, so I didn't like the just monster heavy controller for the Xbox. And I had a friend who was basically telling me, stop complaining with your little baby hands. You need man hands for that.
no.
But that's what the Xbox whole marketing campaign was about.
Big men playing games for men.
Yeah, it was a man's console basically. That was games they had the NFL sponsoring it and all that, or they sponsored the NFL. Because I remember that freaking John Madden pretending to know what an Xbox is. That was hilarious. It's just
The box.
It's
Play stuff for your TV.
it's just basically he looked at it. He looked down and he's like, what was an Xbox? What's a video game?
Yeah, it was speaking for the consoles and the controllers. God, those Mad Cat controllers, horrible.
What
Yep.
was that?
The Mad Cats.
Oh,
Like
was
the-
that
Like
the
the secondary,
wireless?
like the secondary brand
Like
crap
some like weird
controllers.
generic crappy.
Oh,
that were just-
are you talking about like the battery powered controllers?
No, they made like the really like funky, weird controls that felt they were like really light.
Named-
It was
yeah,
like
we
third
named
party
one Pity
controllers.
the Pistola because it was so fucking small. It's just like it was like a hooker gun. It was so small. It was just like this. I was playing like this.
Oh, you mean like a Dillinger?
It was it was so small. Like my thumbs would be touching each other while moving the sticks.
I gotta throw it out there. Worst controller.
The N64 was pretty bad.
I actually liked this N64 controller, but because
Yeah,
I had little
pretty-
hands.
It was pretty fucking shit.
That
is such a
God.
weird design.
The
like,
third party one was even worse.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, the
it's
N64
probably
controller-
N64.
Okay. So yeah, it kind of endured itself to me. I don't know, just this weird look, it's weird shit.
Oh wait, what are those bad controllers that what's his name, AVG?
Oh my god, are you talking
All
about
those-
the Virtual Boy?
We don't talk about those shitty things.
The worst has to be the Atari Jaguar, because it's like this wide, about the size of a, I don't know how big it was big enough to be its own console. The
God.
controller was big enough to be its own console, or at least a handheld console.
Fuck that.
You know, a handheld console from 1992. But now all the buttons, it had this slant to it. All the buttons were at the top of the controller. The rest of it was this numeric keypad. It just, God, it was a piece of shit.
Speaking of handhelds, I don't like their controls either. Just because one, I hurt my neck looking down at them, and two, I was replaying the Game Boy Advance, but I found it just collecting dust, and it was actually kind of digging into my fingers.
Yeah, they were sharp.
I was like, ow! I looked down and I was like, holy fuck! I have indentions in my thumb. I don't remember it being this bad.
No, I just kind of jumped back to good controllers. Even though, I think the console is kind of like, I just played because it was like it was affordable. It was the 360. I actually really like the 360 controller,
Yeah, the 360 controller is pretty solid.
Yeah.
and especially my little third party one I have, my little one. And again, little hands.
When I first got the 360, I was like, what the fuck are these bumpers here for? Like,
Oh, the top two.
yeah, the bumpers.
See, I was used to PlayStation, so I was like, oh, it's just R1, R2.
Because I was used to
Xbox.
the original Xbox had, what's it called?
Black and white.
Yeah,
dots.
black and white.
I remember going to my cousin's house to play, and I would play on their Xbox, and I was so confused because I was so used to PlayStation. Like, hit X, I'm hitting X, you're hitting A. Crap, why did they change it around?
That's right, because X is over on your right, B is on your left, A is right down the bottom, and
What?
Y is on top.
Yeah, instead of it being triangle, square, circle, X. Although I do find it funny. Look, grab my Xbox controller right there. It's on the table. I'll try to find an image to put on the screen for this, but let me see it. But if you look at the old school Sega Genesis controllers, especially the second party one, the third party ones, you can see a natural progression between the old Sega Genesis controllers and the Xbox controllers, because they look very similar in scheme. They're both, like, for the most part, they're black, and also it's kind of a similar
Well, actually, the
layout.
360 controllers are mostly white. You just have a black one.
I don't know. I've seen most of these wireless ones being black. But
Huh. I know when I had 360, I had all white controllers.
yeah, the default controller is white, but I think you get black ones with the
The newer Xboxes.
yeah. But if you look at the old Sega Genesis controller with its 3 buttons, it had I think XYZ was the buttons. No, it was ABC. It was ABC.
The fuck?
I guess Sega in the living room. If you want me to pull that one out.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
But if you look at those controllers, then you look at like the Saturn and the Dreamcast. And keep in mind, the Dreamcast is a white controller, but still, especially the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast basically has the same button layout, except it's missing. There's not 2
No
thumbsticks.
joysticks, yeah.
There's no. I think it's I don't think there's any joysticks on it. I think it's just a directional pad.
Mm-hmm.
But you have the triggers, no bumpers, but you have the triggers, the directional pad, and the 4-button layout. It's the same A, B, X, Y, except they're different colors. So I just find it funny that you can see a natural progression between the Sega controllers to the Xbox controllers.
Yeah, there is. And
just weird.
speaking of controllers, people even still go back to the joysticks for fighting games. Just
Yeah.
because they're so used to the arcade classics.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I see any of the professionals plays, they always play with the old school joystick.
If I had enough fighting game, if I wasn't into fighting games enough to do it, I would love to get that Mortal Kombat 9 controller.
Yeah, I had one. It was pretty nice.
It just goes back to the days of the Nintendo Advantage, where it's just the two buttons and the joystick. Sega Genesis had one. I had it. I actually still have it. It's the same concept. And by the way, even though there's no blood in the there is blood in Mortal Kombat Genesis on Sega Genesis. The problem everybody had was you can't play Mortal Kombat with 3 buttons.
That and the fight sticks were better for people who were like they could be ambidextrous or left-handed. Because some people, the fight sticks were like the stick would be on the right side and then they have the buttons on the left because they were left-handed.
Got a question. When's the last time you've been in an arcade?
Fucking years.
Yeah.
I was like 10, I think, last time I was in an arcade. And it just shows that the whole concept of the arcade is basically dead at this point. They're still around. I mean, we still have one here in town.
Yeah, it's outdated.
It's outdated. I mean, it's all old shit they've had for over 10 years. I have a special place in my heart for old arcade games, especially like your Frogger, your Miss Pac-Man,
Most
stuff like
arcades
that.
moved from being an arcade to like an internet cafe or something like that.
Yeah. Which
Where
kinda
they just have a
depressing.
bunch of computers set up and then sell drinks and stuff like that.
One of my favorite things to do when I would go to the movie theater, and I don't know if they still do this in movie theaters. I would hope so. But I would play the X-Men arcade game. And of course, it's the Welcome to Die.
I remember walking into the San Antonio one. It didn't have any arcade games. I didn't see any. Like I looked over and I was like, oh, I probably never even bothered to get them.
But like, and what do you think of the perception of gamers in most, what the quote unquote normal person would think of when they see like a gamer or something like that?
Now it's just general. Anyone could practically be,
That's-
back then it used to be stereotyped to how the Big Bang Theory fucking stereotypes.
Yeah, it's just.
But now it's like any average person.
But here's the thing, though. You still get those morons who they get for E3 or something like that. At least Samuel L. Jackson does not, I guarantee you, does not understand video games. But at least he's not insulting gamers. He's like, okay, this is something you guys are really into, and I can respect that. At least he has a respect for gamers. Freaking whoever that douchebag was at the VGAs, that guy had no respect for gamers, and
If they're white, they're dumb. White celebrities are usually retarded. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I've just find that out through their actions. They usually are stupid college kids who haven't grown up yet.
Georgia Florida line, for example.
Anyway, staying on to the game topic.
I think it's cool how being a gamer is not that weird thing that weird people do.
Yeah.
It's become a lot more normal, and I don't know. I think video games are taking over precedence on movies.
Yeah.
I think video games are just taking over at this point.
I think it's actually pretty interesting. Well, it's not really video games. I remember going to the Magic Tournament in Dallas. There was actually a big muscle dude playing card games.
Yeah,
That was pretty fucking intimidating.
the whole perception of what the nerd is completely changed.
Yeah,
You
it's
still
not-
have stupid shit like the Big Bang Theory running
Yeah,
it,
where
but,
just stereotypes the living fuck out of it.
and hey, most popular show on TV, can't argue with that. Oh god.
Because it's stereotypes.
Anyway, I think we've exhausted this. Unless there's anything you guys can come up with, I think we're done.
Yeah, that seems about it.
I really still feel like there might be a little bit more, but
You
we
don't
could
really
always
know.
save that for another time whenever we come to realization. If we ever forget anything, we'll just come back to it.
Yeah.
So,
And anymore, but honestly, just feel like we're ranting.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I felt bad about my whole rant on Spike TV is because I don't want this show to be about ranting.
Okay. So, if we miss anything and anyone tells us, oh, how come you guys didn't think of that? It's just because you don't realize it till it's too late.
Well, we're going to start doing another show called The Bargain Bin where we just talk about
Yeah.
just whatever pops up.
Yeah. So anything we miss, probably will probably come into
Yeah.
that.
The idea with the Bargain Bin is it's probably going to be your typical podcast where it's just, we just go willy-nilly, just go from subject to subject. I still have not gotten that one up because I've been having problems with YouTube.
Alright.
Well, I think that,
I guess we'll end it on here.
yeah, this has been The Hobby Shop. I'm Philip.
Don?
And Rob.
See you next week.